It doesn't matter how prepared you might be mentally to divorce your partner, it will always be a difficult, challenging, emotionally exhausting, and above all, expensive process. The cost of the average divorce in America is between $15,000 and $20,000. This amount can be lower or higher depending on the state you live in. Some joke the divorce is far costlier than the wedding, but the reality is, well, it's not untrue. Today we take a deeper look into the financial side of getting divorced. Number 1. Is the divorce contested or uncontested? First prize in any divorce is where both parties agree on all issues pertaining to the annulment of the marriage. This is called an uncontested divorce. These situations, as rare as you might think, do happen. However, it goes without saying the most common divorce is a contested divorce. This annulment occurs when both individuals cannot come to an agreement, and the end result is an even costlier process. Number 2. Anger, spite, and revenge increase the cost. Divorce is often the result of an indiscretion of one party. Perhaps the husband is an online gambling addict or the wife a philanderer. The aggrieved partner will often want to seek out some kind of punishment for the other. Compromise is not the flavor of the day, and when you're feeling hard done by, for some, trying to get as much money out of the other partner is a way to seek some form of closure. But those getting divorced need a good lawyer on their side, and the best lawyers, even the not-so-great ones, cost a fortune. Number 3. Hiring an attorney. There are two options when it comes to hiring a lawyer. You could try and get a lump sum figure that you agree to pay, which will wrap up all the proceedings of a divorce. It's not often you'll find lawyers that accept this, but they do exist. The other option is to continue paying legal fees as they arise, and it'll become clear why so many couples remain married despite having zero relationship. They literally cannot afford to get divorced. This arrangement leaves you paying for every phone call, email received and sent, paperwork printed, an hourly rate, and whatever other expense you can dream of. Be assured you will be paying for it. And then there is another expense when it comes to hiring legal support. Sometimes you hire the wrong person. Lawyers who don't have your best interest at heart, who find sympathy with an ex, who don't try to get you what you need to survive properly. This also draws the divorce out even further, which is also going to cost you more money than necessary. Number 4. Court costs. Once you've sorted out the attorney fees, be prepared for the fees associated with the court proceedings. This could set you back several $100s and include the initial filing fee, motion fees, court reporter fees, sheriff fees if you're serving an ex with papers, and often a return to court when matters are not settled. We highly recommend you take a listen to Going from We to Me, A Financial Guide to Divorce by Adrienne Rothstein Grace. As explained by our friends over at Audible, this book is a guide to help you take charge of your finances through your divorce and after. We've got a free download for you at alux.com/freebook. Number 5. Divorce is for the wealthy. Getting excellent legal aid is a luxury only afforded to the wealthy. The Atlantic published an article by Olga Kazan outlining the high cost of divorce. There, she affirms that divorce is so expensive and complicated it leaves many poor people trapped in bad marriages. She adds the high cost of divorce results in the wealthy getting divorced and the poor merely separating. And speaking of divorce being only for the wealthy, we covered it extensively in our video, 15 Reasons Why Billionaires Are Getting Divorced. Number 6. It's a lengthy affair. Every divorce is different with its own unique circumstances. However, naively thinking it will take less than a year could leave you feeling disappointed. According to 3stepdivorce.com, divorce cases that go to trial take an average of 17.6 months to resolve. There are plenty of ways to speed up a divorce process, but that would mean needing to have pretty level-headed conversations with the ex-partner, which often isn't easy. But you know, if the thought of 17 months fills you with panic, this might actually make you feel a bit better. There was a 16-year battle between one couple where he denied being the father of their 18-year-old daughter despite paternity tests confirming otherwise. Yeah, he lost the case. Then there's the 21-year divorce battle between Nicholas Pupura, a former partner at Bear Stearns, and his ex-wife Barbara. All of a sudden, 17 months sounds much more manageable. Number 7. Division of assets. If you've signed a prenup, you're good to go, but if you got married with stars in your eyes and the belief that divorce would never happen to you, you might find yourself fighting over who legally owns the house you're staying in and what portion of the furniture you're entitled to. This is tricky business, and it's costly. The recent divorce of Bill and Melinda Gates has brought to light Bill's assets, which included a property portfolio worth billions, cars, works of art, private holdings, and common stock, and there's plenty more we're not even aware of. Business Insider confirms the couple did not sign a prenup, however they did have a separation contract which they've enforced during the divorce. The division of assets, especially when one party doesn't believe the other deserves an equal share, can add a huge expense onto an already pricey divorce. Number 8. Children need to be covered. If you've been divorced or are going through a divorce and there are children involved, it's usually quite clear which parent will have custody over those kids. Gaining custody of the children for the right reasons is great, but sadly, many people going through a divorce will try to claim custody of the children more to hurt the ex-spouse than for any real benefit for the children. The person who has custody will require a monthly payment that will go toward paying the costs of the children. Things like their share of the rent, food, water, electricity, clothing, school fees, medical expenses, stationery, sports, clothing and events, and so on. Kids cost a lot of money, and getting to a mutual agreement on what their costs are each month is par for the course during a divorce. Number 9. Alimony may need to be paid. The difference between maintenance and alimony is the alimony is intended for a spouse as spousal support. According to thebalance.com, a judge may order alimony payments for a specified period of time or until the spouse receiving support remarries. This money is meant to help the spouse to maintain a similar lifestyle to what they were used to during the marriage. But this extra expense is not a guarantee and could be denied by the judge. Number 10. Running 2 households. When 2 becomes 1 might be a Spice Girls single, but when it comes to divorce, 2 people are becoming 1, and that split means each individual will be running a new household. As a married couple, the expenses are probably split according to salary and responsibility or however you and your spouse worked it out. But when you're divorced, the entire financial load is for you to bear alone, and that's really tough. You'd need a deposit for a new place. You'd have to pay for water, electricity, new internet, TV, furniture, and so on. And when you move into your own space, you realize it's the little things that bring the cost up. Think sponges and dish towels, a garlic press, a bottle opener, things you never realized you used so often and kinda took for granted. But all of those things need to be bought and replaced, and it adds a huge financial strain onto a newly divorced person. But we'll leave you with a quote from American comedian Louis C.K. While he's done and said some questionable things in the past, this line actually rings pretty true. Divorce is always good news. I know that sounds weird, but it's true because no good marriage has ever ended in divorce. Alright, Alexer, if you're divorced, what's one of the unexpected things you learned from it? We'd love your input, so please join the conversation in the comments. Your feedback might really help someone in the community. And since you're still hanging in there with us, of course, you're getting a bonus. Some more things to remember when going through a divorce and working through some messy financial shit. Don't make any rushed decisions. It's okay to take your time and go through the pros and cons of each choice. When drawing up a divorce settlement, make sure your children's education costs are covered, including their post-secondary education. And very important, don't forget to include inflation in your support payments. That's it from us today. We hope you found some value in today's video. Leave us a like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily content.